Hello everyone! Rice borer is a kind of larvae that eats rice stems, presenting withered seedlings in the seedling stage and tillering stage of rice, causing withered boots and white ears in the booting and heading stages, and causing insect damage to plants during the filling and milk ripening stages, increasing the number of chaff grains and making them prone to vine breakage and lodging. Some species can also bore and fit in the leaf sheath to form withered sheaths. Rice borer is one of the important pests on rice due to its hidden life, serious damage, and difficult control. Learning and understanding the occurrence regularity of rice borer is of great significance to formulating effective, comprehensive control measures. Today, let's talk about the occurrence regularity of rice borer. Rice borer, also rice borer insect, mainly includes yellow rice borer, rice stem borer, pink rice borer, as well as brown edge borer and Taiwan borer that occur sporadically in some rice regions, all belonging to Lepidoptera, except for pink rice borer, which belongs to Noctuidae. The other four belong to Pyralidae. Yellow rice borer is distributed from the tropics to the south of the temperate zone in Asia and in the south of 38 degrees N in China, especially in the riverside and coastal plains. It has a single feeding habit and only damages rice and wild rice. Rice stem borer is widely distributed in China, and it is polyphagous. Its main hosts include rice, wheat, corn, sorghum, and water bamboo. Pink rice borer is more common in China, especially in the Yangtze River basin and nearby rice regions. It is polyphagous, and its host is similar to that of rice stem borer and can also damage cotton. In recent years, after hybrid rice is cultivated as mid-season rice in most rice regions in Chongqing and Sichuan, rice stem borer has become a dominant population, causing serious damage. Since the 1992, the yellow rice borer has rebounded to varying degrees in some double cropping and ratoon rice regions. Next, let's take a look at the life history and habits of rice borer. Yellow rice borer has 2 to 7 generations a year in China and 3 to 4 generations a year in Chongqing, Sichuan, and other places. The number of generations each year varies with climatic conditions and gradually decreases from south to north or from plain to plateau. The peak period of the first generation moth is around early May. The peak period of the second generation moth is from late June to early July, and the peak period of the third generation moth is from late July to mid-August. The third generation larvae are the most harmful throughout the year, mainly damaging late rice, late middle rice, ratoon rice, and hybrid rice seed production fields in autumn, resulting in withered hearts and white ears. The rice stem borer overwinters as Latin star larvae within rice stubble. When the temperature rises to 16 degrees Celsius the next year, the pupation begins. Yellow rice borer lurks at the base of rice seedlings during the day and flies out after dusk with strong phototaxis. The moths copulate on the night of eclosion and begin to lay eggs the next day. Each female lays 1 to 5 eggs. Each egg mass contains 30 to 180 eggs. Females mostly lay eggs on dark green and stout and tall rice plants, and egg masses are mostly laid on leaves or leaf sheaths. After hatching, yellow rice borer will enter the stem at an appropriate position to cause damage. Rice tillering stage, final booting stage, and heading stage are most suitable for the invasion of ant borer, which is called dangerous growth stage. Larvae have two characteristics different from other rice borers. First, they feed on the tender tissue of the leaf sheath stem, the pollen, stigma, and the inner wall of the stem in the ear bag, and basically do not feed on the chlorophyll containing part. Second, before feeding in large quantities, they will cut off the leaves and stem nodes in a ring shape to bite off most of the vascular bundles. The incision is neat and called broken ring. Soon, the rice plant will show symptoms such as withering or white ears, and the larvae will feed on the tissue above the broken ring for a long time. After the larvae mature, they move to the base of the rice stem to pupate. Before pupation, the mature larvae will bite an eclosion hole on the inner wall of the rice stem, leaving only a layer of epidermal film, and then pupate. Rice stem borer in China, 1 to 5 generations occur in a year, and 2 to 3 generations occur in Chongqing and Sichuan. In Chongqing, the peak period of the first generation is in early May, and that of the second generation is in early and middle July. The first generation larvae damage seedlings and early middle rice, causing withered sheaths and heart. The second generation larvae damage hybrid rice and late middle rice, causing white ears and insect damage to plants. Rice stem borer overwinters as 4th to 6th instar larvae in rice stubble and straws, and some overwinter in stems or weeds of other hosts. When the temperature rises to 11 degrees Celsius the next year, the last instar larvae of rice stem borer pupate. When the soil temperature rises to 7 degrees Celsius, the immature overwintering larvae begin to transfer to the stems of overwintering crops such as wheat, broad beans, and rape to continue feeding until they mature and pupate. The moth copulates and oviposits 1-2 days after eclosion. With weak phototaxis, prefers green and tender leaves, and oviposits most at night. The eggs are mostly laid on the leaf surface 3 to 6 centimeters from the leaf tip. Each female lays 2 to 3 eggs, with 40 to 80 eggs per ms. After incubation, the ant borer first clusters to damage and bore the leaf sheath tissue, resulting in withered sheaths. The second instar begins to be dispersed and transferred, causing withered seedlings at the tillering stage. At the booting and heading stages, it will cause withered boots, white ears, and insect damage to plants. The damage of larval transplants is more frequent than that of yellow rice borer, and various damaged plants also appear in clusters. After the 6th instar, the larvae pupate in the lower stem of the rice plant or inside the leaf sheaths, usually about 3 centimeters from the water surface. Pink rice borer, 3 to 4 generations occur every year. They overwinter as larvae in rice, stubble, corn, sorghum, water bamboo, and other residues, or in the rhizosphere of weeds. The mature larvae begin to pupate when the temperature reaches 10 degrees Celsius the next year, and eclosion happens at 15 degrees Celsius. The immature larvae will transfer to overwintering crops, such as wheat and rape, to feed and damage in warm spring and complete development. Thick leaves and loose leaf sheaths. Imagos have strong phototaxis to black light lamps and prefer to oviposit in rice with tall plants, thick stems, especially on hybrid rice. The eggs are mostly laid on the inner side of the leaf sheath, within 2 meters of the near field ridge. Females can lay eggs 2 to 4 days after eclosion, with 200 to 300 eggs per female. In the seedling stage, the newly hatched larvae gather inside the original leaf sheath to bore and feed, and the leaf sheath turns yellow after 2 days. They scatter on other rice plants in the same cluster for the first time to cause damage, resulting in withered sheaths and sporadic withered seedlings. After 5 to 6 days, they become second instar and scatter on nearby rice plants in the same cluster for the second time, resulting in increased withered hearts. After another 4 to 5 days, they become third to fourth instar and transfer and damage the seedlings for the third time, causing a large number of withered seedlings. At the booting stage, the larvae hatched by the egg mass in the short leaf sheath can directly damage the young ear and feed on the gloom and pollen. After hatching, the larva bores through the short leaf sheath, causing white ears. Usually, a larva can cause 4 to 6 withered seedlings. The larvae hatched by an egg mass can cause 40 to 80 clusters of withered hearts or 10 to 20 white ears. Withered ears and several insect-injured plants. The pink rice borer is characterized by many transplants, large wormholes, and a large number of feces discharged from the holes, for which it is easy to be distinguished from yellow rice borer and rice stem borer. The last instar larvae pupate in the gap of the withered sheath at the base of the host, in the stem or among rice plants. Today, we explained the occurrence regularity of rice borer and introduced the life history and habits of 3 rice borers. After class, please refer to professional literature based on what you have learned today to find out what factors affect the occurrence of rice borer. Okay, that's all for today. See you next time.